Let's get more to the big news in the AFL. Of course, James Hird standing down yesterday after being tapped on the shoulder by the board, and that $2.5 billion broadcast deal which was announced by the AFL and all its partners. We're joined in the studio by ABC Grandstand commentator Gerard Whateley. Gerard, it was a big day yesterday.
Extraordinary day.
Let's start with James Hird. Did you see this happening right about this time of year?
Yes. No coach ever survives a downturn in football fortunes the way that Essendon had turned. And if you consider the repeat 100-point defeats, as I always think, they induce one of two things, either clarity or panic. And in this case, it's been clarity. It's from that moment where they lost to St Kilda in the first Sunday of July through to losing to Adelaide by a similar margin in the middle Saturday in August. Steps were being taken by the board to organise an exit strategy. Xavier Campbell, the chief executive, has played a key role in this. And once Hird posed the same question that had been asked from the outside, is could the club ever truly move on while he remained at the helm? Once he posed that question and the board had licence to think about that, the answer was inevitably no. And once that's delivered back to Hird, he has no option but to resign.
What's the benefit then? What is the overall benefit for James Hird not being the coach?
I think twofold right now is the timing with 3 rounds to go. It actually gives the players a chance to get back on the field and play in an altered environment. And these players are in the absolute depths for reasons that are well understood across 3 years. And so I guess providing that circuit breaker to give them a taste of what life might be like away from James Hird, so that at the end of the year they can make their decisions about whether they want to stay or whether they want to change. And then the second one is they have to get into the coaching market. You have to be able to openly speak to candidates about who's going to replace them. And once Essendon knew it couldn't gamble next season in its entirety on whether there would be an upswing in fortunes of the players still under Hird, is they have to start conversations with other people.
And I think they've probably learnt their lesson by now. Do you think that the Messiah complex is not going to be working for them?
Yes. And they made there are some terrible errors made, and you can pinpoint the moments. Is extending the contract to induce Hird to take the AFL punishment was fatally flawed on the night that it happened. I can remember saying so at the time, and that's exactly how it's proven. Mark Thompson addressed the Essendon faithful like a US presidency candidate on the night of the best and fairest when he thought he was going to be the coach, and it looked like it would just be a continuation of his tenure rather than a return to Hird. I think if everybody had their time again, they would have actually bitten the bullet at the right moments, and Hird would never have returned to the job.
Now, really interested to get your thoughts on this big broadcast deal that was announced yesterday. You can see it from many different angles, as others might not be able to. You've got one of the most popular football programs on Foxtel, as well as your position at the ABC. What is the subtext to yesterday where all of a sudden Rupert Murdoch's at the table with all of these bigwigs announcing this deal?
Well, there was nothing subtle about Rupert Murdoch's message as he clipped the NRL fiercely. And the NRL jilted News Limited when it announced the free-to-air arm of its operation with Channel 9. And Murdoch's straight claim to superiority for the AFL and his dismissiveness of returning to the negotiating table, I think that would send a tremor through NRL circles. The like for like here is it does emphasise the AFL's status as the premier sporting code. Is on a breakdown, it's basically $2 million a match versus $1.7 million a match from the NRL's free-to-air deal, which is understandable because the AFL game goes longer. It has more ad breaks in it. But it's a huge whack of money for a game to be able to set itself up for everything that it wants to do. $2.5 billion. The AFL's priorities is it must get its finances in order with its clubs, a third of which are struggling, and that's a generous interpretation. It needs to do a new deal with its players. And then there was an absolute emphasis on the spread of money throughout the game, and that's to the grassroots level and up.
What does that mean, though?
That is an excellent question. I don't know the answer to that yet, but at least there is a willingness from the AFL. They're held accountable to that yesterday. They said, what was it, 268 leagues and clubs. They mentioned all of that. They didn't need to.
Yeah.
There is an all-of-football review taking place at the moment, as I think the AFL tries to reconnect with its keeper of the code.
Yep.
tag that it had and believed in for a long time, but has probably waned. So yeah, they're held to that now.
And as for the consumers, more of the same, it seems.
Yeah.
You know, availability of matches, slightly more with this new deal. What are they all thinking about people wanting to watch eventually, if not sooner, matches on their phones and
so
things like that?
Having spoken to Gil McLaughlin this morning, he said this is the last time that the television rights will be negotiated in such a way. By 2023, technology will be different and the conversation will be vastly altered because the consumer experience will be different. But yes, the most startling aspect of this is it's pretty well the same. There are the games on free-to-air. There's not an explosion in Thursday night games. There's only going to be 5 or 6, whereas there was the suggestion that maybe half the Thursday nights of the season would be used. Pay TV has all the games still. Channel 7 has its WAD. I'm pretty sure that Foxtel will sell one of its games to Channel 10, a Saturday afternoon game, and that'll be the first linkage of Foxtel and 10 once they became financial partners. So I think the viewing experience will be pretty well as it is now, and in a way I suspect that's comforting to fans and viewers.